What's up, guys? Let's look at the price of Bitcoin. Well, I must say that recently it goes in a pretty unpredictable way, and moreover, one might say even that it is kind of manipulated in order to make people getting uncertain about the price move, about the trend. In general, you see, well, if we look at the history of the price action during the last maybe a month or so, first of all, I would say that this was a kind of unprecedented growth without huge corrections, as already mentioned that before, and that was a very sharp drop, which looks like a squeeze for the long positions, especially the leverage positions. And then, despite the momentum which was gained during this drop and like more likely to be a continuation after that point, we saw a very strong move to the upside, pretty sharp, without corrections as well, not that abrupt as here, but still it actually let people enter their shorts or sell their bitcoins at some point, and kind of setting them into a trap because of the look of this kind of a growth and trendy growth, aiming to the making a new high above $10,000. Instead of that, we made a lower high, which actually not a great sign for the continuation of the rising trend. And currently the most important thing to look at is how the price action will continue to evolve in the next days or maybe a couple of weeks. So let's say on a daily time frame, we first of all made a very nice touch of the Bollinger Band's baseline here, and it was the start of this growth. And from that point, we have this kind of a zigzag move like that. So you might expect it continuing to go like this, and it will be a kind of a consolidation period with a potential breakout of this zone to the upside or to the downside. And the argument for the growth is that since this consolidation is after the rising trend, the continuation of this rising trend after this accumulation, after this redistribution, you would say, is more likely to happen. But at the same time, because of this growth was so huge and without major corrections, you might say that this is actually the distribution, and instead of going up, we might see the exit of this distribution to the downside as a start of the correction of this growth, or maybe even making a lower low or something like that. So first of all, we need to see the structure of this consolidation, whether it will be, let's say, a new low without making a higher high, and the low will be lower. So this was a kind of a standard and classical behavior of the downtrend. So yeah, it would be a nice signal to short. On the other hand, if we will see actually the new high and the higher low, then it would be the opposite. And moreover, if you look at the longer time scale here, you will see that we actually have this $10,000 level tested several times before, and this was kind of a zone here, from which price actually did drop many times. So you might expect that there is a lot of liquidity in the area above $10,000, like maybe $10,500, and if the price will go there, first it will be a huge signal for people going long, because it will mean that the trend is broken to the upside. And also there will be a lot of the stop orders from the short positions getting triggered, which will also add the fuel to the move to the upside. So it is very important how we will see the price action in the nearest future. Of course, it could be a fake move to the upside, then the drop. We could see something like a triangular formation forming within this day, something like that, and if the price will continue moving within this triangle, then again it's likely to see the breakout to the upside. So there's a lot of the options which could happen within these days, and yeah, we need to look at the price action and try to spot those signals, those signatures. For example, over and over again with nice repetition in the history of the price action of Bitcoin recently, we have another green 9 on TD sequential pretty much at the top of this rise, and after that we had this correction. Same thing was here, same thing was here when actually it was a red 9, so we saw the move to the upside. So you see, technically some of the signals, some of the indications work fairly well. Not always, not 100% cases, but if we'll follow those, it it works fine. So in fact, for example, right now what we can see is that price is testing the support, the Bollinger Bands baseline on a 4 hours time frame, and see this green candle happen. So we might actually see the pullback for this downside move, and yeah, well, it's basically the standard consolidation. So we'll just need to look at how it evolve in the nearest future. Also, I must point out the similar behavior with S&P or other indices. The thing is that although we see the difference in the behavior of these indices and Bitcoin in terms of the absolute moves, like the amplitude of those, but at the same time the structure is pretty simple. So you can see, for example, here it was the one high, low, higher low, and a lower high and a lower low. So it's pretty much the same as you can find with Bitcoin. So you see it was a high, then the low, higher high, lower low, and a lower high, meaning that in principle there is actually a kind of a correlation. So and since the same S&P looks pretty much exhausted in terms of the move to the upside, we might see exactly this correction to happen even lower, and probably Bitcoin will drag down with S&P and other markets as well. Of course, it's not 100% clear, and because of we have a lot of the tether speculation and a lot of the tether pumping Bitcoin probably these days, but we'll just have to look and see what will happen. So guys, before making a conclusion, give me a minute to make a short video from the sponsor of this episode. Bityard is a new cryptocurrency exchange which operates from Singapore and provides the service of exchanging several cryptocurrencies, not only Bitcoin but several altcoins as well. The trading process is pretty simple and straightforward. You can use the leverage up to 100x. Also, there are a few things which are interesting for this particular exchange. For example, the daily mining feature. Basically, you can get some cryptocurrencies by just logging in and clicking this daily mining feature. So generally, it's just the way from Bityard to encourage people to enter the platform and get more and more people involved. It's interesting that they actually have the regulation and licensing going on. So they are from Singapore, but also they have authorized from some officials from United States and Australia and Europe as well. So it kind of adds some confidence for their customers. Of course, you can use the mobile application for iOS or Android, and as well as the demo version of the trading. And also I should mention that there's a lot of bonuses for simple activities like setting up your account, start the demo trading, start the real trading. So you can get a little bit of USDT for each of those, and quite a lot if you will do more in terms of the trading volume. So maybe some of you will find it useful. And finally, in terms of the trading and what can do in this way during this consolidation, what I would say is that it would be reasonable to try to take a short position in the area somewhere around here. So if there will be a rise and the lower high, then at that point we can take a short order with a stop at this high, or at this high if you want to be more conservative. Maybe with the target somewhere around here, maybe $9,000 or so. At the same time, if we'll have the drop something like this, so it would be another way to trade it with taking a long position from here, and the first stop order will be here, the more conservative will be around here, and you can aim it either to the area before this high, somewhere around here, or making actually a higher high above $10,000, maybe $10,500. And the third way, if the price will go somewhere here, so it will make a new high and then test this previous resistance as a support, and we'll find support here, then at this point we could have a long position with a stop at this area. So those are three options, and I will keep you updated on how I would trade those. So hopefully we can make some money during this consolidation as well. Okay guys, that is it for today, and I hope that it was useful. So thank you very much for watching, and see you next time. Goodbye.